better if more can join in. I'm going to hit record, you guys, just so I can get this documented. So, I forgot to last week, and we had a beautiful meeting, but um, it's all meant to be, right? So, what is, and it's all perfect just as it is. So, welcome to Roadmap to Freedom. This is your 2x4 breakdown class. So, any patterns that you're experiencing that you seem to be repeating in your life, or anything that just seems to keep coming up that you can't find your lesson in or find the purpose of, is what this class is for, so we can assist each other in breaking down those moments and those patterns, so we don't have to get smacked upside the head by that 2x4 to see our lesson. It's so the objective, my goal for this class is to assist in teaching y'all how to recognize those patterns and break them down and find what awareness it's trying to bring you, because getting smacked with that 2x4 is never uh, a fun thing, and it's right. It's inevitable. Inevitable. I can't say that word apparently, but it's inevitable, right? It happens if we don't deal with it. If we don't find it before it finds us, we are guaranteed to get that smack upside the head to bring us into the realization of um what God or the universe or the situation is trying to teach us. So, I don't have a topic for the week. Last week we did I'm a control freak, and I still kind of feel that this week. I've experienced some situations this week where I've wanted to and attempted to control the situation, when really what I needed to do was just sit down and shut up and let let the situation be. And so I find for me that I'm pretty good at not knowing exactly when that time to sit down and shut up is all the time. So that's a pattern that has been repeating in my life for a very long time. So um, we can address it today, or if you guys have something that is repeating in your lives, I would love to have you come on and share what you're going through, what's happening, what you're experiencing, and let's do some work together.
Annette, do you want to go first or shall I go?
Do you have something right now, Jill?
Yeah. Um, Brenda, Annette and I were talking prior to this Zoom meeting, and I've just been in the pits of hell for what seems to be a long, long, long time. And there are no words. I can't explain why. Um, I know all the truths. I know that I'm a child of God, and feeling abandoned is just in my head, I guess. But it's just so painful day in and day out, and just not being able to get out of it, not being able to shake it, not being able to explain it. Um, you know, Annette seems to understand, but I feel numb. I feel numb. I feel like nothing is resonating with me, although I know the truth, and the truth should set me free, but I feel anything but free.
All right. That that is a pattern that I've also experienced, that abandoned feeling and not being able to get past it, not being able to find my way through it. And So for me, what I found was the true root of the abandonment wasn't with my mother, abandoning me when I was a child. It wasn't with um, it didn't lie within any other person but myself, right? And so what I found when I did breakthroughs around abandonment with my mom, with the molestation, and then with her leaving me, and then my dad abandoning me with my truth when I told my truth, him not standing by me, and I still felt that weight and that pressure and that lie that I was abandoned. And when I really dug in, what I found was that I had abandoned myself, right? And that could be some of what you're experiencing, um, of self abandonment, of abandoning our truth of who we are, right? And so I had to go back to that moment where I told myself that I was worthless and that I wasn't good enough, right? Because that was the true moment that I abandoned my truth and went down this road of the lie that I was abandoned, that I wasn't good enough, that my mom left me, that God left me, that He didn't protect me and keep me safe. So I felt that abandonment. But the true pain in it, the true deep hurt in it was that moment that I accepted that as my truth, that God had abandoned me and that my mom had abandoned me and didn't keep me safe. So, um, in that moment when I accepted that I was worthless and not good enough for my mom to love me proper and to stay with me and protect me, I abandoned myself. I abandoned my truth. So that may be an angle that you can address that abandonment, Jill, if you've worked through with being abandoned by family or friends or others, right? Maybe it lies within you. Maybe there's a space where you've abandoned yourself that we need to look at and bring out and heal.
Yeah. I feel like I've been abandoned by God. I just feel like, you know, I know that there are lessons in what it is I'm going through, but I don't see the lessons. I just feel the pain. Um, I just go through the motions day after day. Um, I have, a support system in that there's an agency that provides a counselor and a nurse and God knows what else. But, you know, the most difficult thing is it appears to everyone else that I'm fine, that I'm doing so well. And I'm I'm doing anything but well. I'm in pain, mental anguish, day in and day out. I sleep in increments. I'm peaceful when I'm sleeping, although even my dreams are bizarre. They're all over the place, you know. And I just don't know what's going on. Full disclosure to both of you guys, I don't know what's going on. And Annette and I shared with her that, you know, if I feel like if I died today or tomorrow, it would be okay. I'm over it, you know, and but my fear is that the state of mind that I'm in now is the state of mind that I'll take with me, and I'll still have to go through the same old bull crap, you know, eternally, I guess. I don't know, you know, and that's I just,
So you
I
have a,
know, I'm
go
sorry,
ahead,
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
No, I know that everything is real, but everything seems unreal. You know, it's like this can't really be happening, but it's happening. you know, and I know that it's happening, and and that it's with my every waking moment. Everything just seems so odd, so strange, but yet so familiar, and I don't understand it. I smoked around you guys, so I know it's okay for you to be listening.
You smoke all you want to, my love. That is perfect. Um, there's no judgment in this room. If you smoke cigarettes, please smoke cigarettes, right? I smoke cigarettes, we smoke cigarettes, cigarettes are a thing, it's just a thing, and we all go through uh we all go through that fear of not being good enough. I think every person in this world, including myself, um, have that fear that if we die in this moment, that we will forever be stuck the way we are right now, right? And God promises that we are healed already, right? And when we join Him, we are in our purest, most perfect form. So I think I feel this when you were talking about fear, the fear of not being good enough. Even if you died today, you wouldn't be good enough, And I really felt that fear in that when you said it. I'm afraid. I'm afraid if I die today, I will have to live like this forever. And I recognize that fear because I used to have it. And I used to believe that I was never going to heal. I was never going to find what I needed to hear or where I needed to go inside myself to find the peace that I was searching for. And so I know that fear, and I know that very, very clearly how debilitating it can be to have that fear within you. And um, not knowing where to go for the answers to receive, right? And um, what I'm really feeling into is where you're at right this moment. And I understand, Jill. And I see that you can't see what everybody else does from the outside, right? Because we never can see what we can't see. Our view of ourself and how we're doing is never the same view that people outside of us have because they're not inside of our bodies. They're not experiencing what we're experiencing. So maybe you're putting on a persona for the outside world because you want them to see you as okay so you can see you as okay. Can you borrow can you borrow what they see, even if you can't see it at this moment? can you try to borrow that faith that they have, the strength that they see in you? Um,
Yeah. I feel like I'm like on the outside looking in at this person that's so very familiar, but yet stuck in a place that I just don't want to be, but not knowing how to get out of it. It's just
when was the very first time you felt that feeling?
it's just been in the last year. In the last year, I was hospitalized. I was, in a mental ward for seemed like forever. And I got out, and I've had episodes before, but this is the longest that I can remember. And I just feel so stuck. I just feel like, and I'm not I'm not I'm not pretending with other people. I'm just being me. But, people tell me, oh, you look great. You're doing so well. And I'm like, really? I really, what do you see that I don't see? What do you feel that I'm not feeling? I don't say it. I just tell them that I receive it and I thank them. But it couldn't be further from the truth.
Mm. So you're still lying to yourself that, right? When you tell them
Well,
you receive it, you receive that they're saying you look good and that you're doing good. But really, when you say I receive that, you're lying to them and you're lying to yourself because you don't receive it and you don't see it.
yes.
Yeah, that's I just wanted to clarify that because I didn't want there to be a misunderstanding and me calling you a liar, right? Because I'm not calling you a liar. Uh, and we do tend to lie to ourselves because of a reason, right? We've always have a reason that we feel that we can't be truthful with ourselves. And I think that what was your what seems to be the moment or the event that led up to this current state of being that you're experiencing? Is there something that you can pinpoint that happened a year ago that has triggered or re-triggered something that
Yeah. Well, it started, I guess, when I was catfished online and ended up uh, contributing, I'll say, $8,860, which to this day I don't know how I manifested it, but I did. And then I had a neighbor who took full advantage of me being really feeling like I was out of my mind. And she's got mental health issues and she was stealing from me. And, um, and it just seems like, you know, somehow I allow these people to come into my experience and I just allow them to do what it is they do. I have set boundaries with her. Um, she literally invaded my home the other day, a couple of weeks ago, and I told her, I didn't want anything she had. I didn't want any parts of her. That you know, just and then she gave my grandson, who's 17, a vape to hold, and I told her he's not to hold anything that belongs to you. So I've set boundaries with her. I've let the person that swindled me know that He's claiming now to have cancer and he's broke and da 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 da. And I told him I cannot be his hero anymore. That I'm in pretty bad shape myself, and I have suffered financially because of, you know, giving so freely to him. So those are two things that I have made clear to both of them. My son and my grandson, it's a different story. My son doesn't understand where I am. Um, he, like so many people, say, you're not doing anything to help yourself. Um, Everybody's trying to help you, but you're not helping yourself. I don't have an appetite. I find it difficult to eat, although I eat because I'm hungry, but I'm not hungry. It's just a strange, strange space that I'm in, you know. And I don't know. I feel like I'm just being walked on, you know, just in a situation with my grandson that he's in his last year of high school. And I know that, I've had my counselor, I've had people tell my son, you need to take your son. And, you know, it goes in one ear and out the other. He doesn't see. And it's like I live in two worlds because uh I I I always wanted to have my grandson, and now I have him. And raising a teenager today is nothing like it was when I raised his father. He's an entirely different person. I go above and beyond not to compare the two, but he's just a teenager, and from what I understand, a typical teenager, not cleaning up behind himself, not being helpful to me, married to the computer and the telephone, and not seeing that if he would just contribute, it would help me tremendously, but he doesn't get it. And it gets to the point where I get tired of telling him the same thing over and over and over. Clean up as you go along, you know, um, don't don't leave food out. Um, and it and then it doesn't resonate. He just, continues to do the same thing over and over and over again. And now it's just like I feel like I'm his transportation and a roof over his head because he does work and is very secretive about his money. Never know how much he has, what he's doing with it. And, that's okay, I guess, if, that's what he chooses to do. But it's just, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. You know, I'm just every time I wake up, I think, because I've I've had episodes before, and some of them lasted longer than others. This time it has lasted longer than any other time. And I'm just tired. I am just so tired. Every opportunity I have, I lay down or sit down or, you know, I feel like I have no life in me, and certainly not a quality of life.
Mm, mm. So I get that with the kids, right? Because I go through that with my daughter and living with my daughter and my granddaughter. And, I give and give and give so much that last year, I almost gave my life. and not that I wouldn't give my life for my children, but there's a point where we have to give back to ourselves. We have to say enough is enough. I'm your mama and I love you with every piece of me. And it's time that you take responsibility. It's time you grow up. I can't be your everything. I can't do your all anymore. And it took a lot for me to just stop doing it, right? Because I was so used to it. I was so used to doing and giving everything I was to make them happy. And I finally realized that I can't make them happy. I can't make them love themselves. I can't make them love me. And all I can do is love myself and show them how. Be that example of how to love you, how to set a boundary and stick to it, and how to not make it mean anything about yourself once you do, right? Because I struggled with that for um, a long time, not making it mean that I was a bad mom or a bad grandma, that I wasn't willing to give anymore. I couldn't. I didn't have anything left in me to give them, right? But I made that mean that I wasn't a good enough mom, that I wasn't a good enough grandma. So I want to really encourage you to sit down and ask yourself, what are you making this mean about you? What are you making this mental breakdown mean about you? What are you making the fact that you can't get nobody to listen to you mean about you? What are you making? What are you making this situation mean about you with your friend that took advantage of you and the guy that you give the money to? We unconsciously make all these events mean things about us. So I want to encourage you to really dig into each of these moments and see what you're making them mean about you. Because I think that's where you will find your breakthrough that will be able to shift this to the other side, right? And it's probably something that you used many, many times, and maybe you've even done breakthrough work on, and but there's still a piece, a point, that little shard in there that you're holding on to for some reason. So if we can find that, if we can find what you're making all this mean about you, we can possibly discover what it is that you're missing, right? Each of these events are trying to teach you something about yourself. And what I see, like from my side, is the same that I saw within myself, that we base our belief of our worth on what we can give and do for others, right? And how well we do that. Whether it takes everything that we have or not, it doesn't matter. As long as we can still be and do good for others, right? And when we can't do that, when we can't be that, because we can never be enough for somebody else to find their way, right? We can only be enough for us to find our own way.
Yeah. Yeah, it's it's a it's the most daunting thing I've ever experienced in my life, just day in and day out, just feeling so down, like my soul has been stripped from me, you know. And I'm hesitant to talk about it because I don't understand it, so I don't expect others to understand it. And, you know, and I know that everybody is well meaning, you know, short of saying snap out of it, you know, that's pretty much what it amounts to, you know, snap out of it. You you have so much to be thankful for, which I do, you know, I do. Um I don't have a lot, but I can meet my needs month to month. And, you know, there was a time I wasn't able to do that. And um, not having finances was always a trigger, but that's not necessarily the case right now. Like I said, I don't have a lot, but um, I don't have to worry about if something comes up, you know, what am I going to do? So, you know, I feel grateful for that. And I give gratitude. I give gratitude each and every day, all day, even though I don't, you know, I know that I have a lot to be grateful for. I have a roof over my head. I have, you know, food. I have, you know, I have all the creature comforts that I need. Um, I can't seem to organize myself or have the energy to put my house in order. And I just have now given up and said, it is what it is, you know. Um, I can't. I, you know, I just shift things from one place to another, and nothing ever really looks like it's complete. You know, it just still looks a mess.
Mm, mm. Feel that. Feel that. Um, you know, and John says a lot of times that our outward, the things around us, will project what we see and feel about ourselves inside. And like what I just heard was, I'm a mess and I don't know how to arrange myself anymore. I don't know how to get myself back together. Right. And it's actually manifesting itself outside of you in your home, in the situations and the things around you, because you've really, I think you've seriously, really, somewhere deep down in your heart, convinced yourself that you're never going to get yourself back together, that you're not going to
Pretty
find the peace and the key that you need.
pretty much.
Yeah. So, um, that's a lie. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, and I know that you know that. You know that's a lie that you're telling yourself. And there's a reason why you're doing it. Why? Why would you tell yourself such a lie? Why would you want yourself to believe that? Um, what are you using that for?
Yeah. I have no answers. I have no answers.
I
Just
love it.
yeah. I just, you know, I can't answer. I don't know. I don't know. You know, um, I just feel lost. You know,
When was the
I feel
first time
lost
you felt lost? Ever in your life? The very first time you ever felt lost?
this past year.
This past year is the very first time.
Mm-hmm.
And what created that lost feeling, that giving away that money or being taken advantage of?
Um, I guess you could say that, yeah. And that realization didn't come until a year later.
Hmm.
All of this took place last year, and in trying to figure out why why I am where I am, I say that those experiences were traumatizing.
Hmm.
They were very traumatizing.
Yeah. Yeah, because mm, the trust thing, right? Um, when we trust others and then they do something that shows us that they weren't really trustworthy as we thought, right? And we put our heart into trusting that person. And then when they show us, when something happens and it shows us, or we make it mean, you know, that they weren't trustworthy, or maybe even we can't trust ourselves to know who is trustworthy. If I can't trust myself to know who's trustworthy, how can I trust myself to know anything? How can I trust myself to know if I'm healing? How can I even trust myself to know where I'm at in the healing process? Maybe I'm never going to heal because I don't trust that I can do it. I don't believe in myself. I don't trust in myself anymore.
Yeah, yeah. I I'm speechless.
It's
It's I
overwhelming, isn't it?
it's very overwhelming. And I just don't want to be in this space, you know. And it's interesting because I have a cousin that's very much like a sister to me, and she's been dealing with depression for decades also. And she we talk and we kind of laugh at some of the things that we go through and some of the things that we do. And you know, uh it it doesn't comfort me to know that someone else is going through the same thing, and when she's able to get out of it and I'm still in it, I'm ever so happy for her, but and she reminds me, you've been in this place before and you always seem to come out of it. But I'm I feel that my nurse practitioner isn't hearing me. Um, as far as the meds are concerned, I've been on medication for so many years. I feel that it has really damaged my brain. You know, the simplest of tasks are difficult, and you know, they're simple things, but they're difficult. You know, um, I don't know. I just don't know.
I get that. I really do. And I get that space that you're in that I just don't know where I'm at anymore. I think I'm broke, I'm damaged, my brain's messed up. I can't do this. I can't find my way out. And I caught you just saying, when my friend, when my cousin, did you say your cousin that is
Yeah,
experiencing depression at the same time, when my cousin finds her way out of it, I know I'm still going to be here stuck, right? And you're
yeah,
telling yourself this every day. So let's create a shift. Let's create a shift pattern and Every time you feel like you're going to be this way forever, I want you to call yourself a liar.
Yeah.
Call that self that's telling you that a liar. Tell it you're lying. I will not be this way forever because God promises that I will be healed. Whether it's in this lifetime or in my next journey home to him, I will be healed. I will not experience this forever. Right? Let's start
Mhm.
there. Let's start by calling that out as the lie that it is, because you can heal. You can get on the other side of this because you've done it before. Right? And that's a lie that Satan's using to keep you trapped in this space of not knowing how to get out of it.
Mhm.
Is that lie that you're never going to get better. You're going to be stuck here forever. And that's not true. Okay. So every time that thought comes up, I want you to call it a lie. Call the thought a lie and reinforce it with a truth that God has told you.
Okay.
Okay. And
Mhm.
then ask yourself some of those questions that I give you to ask yourself. What am I making this mean about me? What am I using this for? And where has this shown up in my life before now? Okay, and let's see if we can break down some of this together and find your pathway, because there is one. There's a pathway, right? And sometimes when we're right in the midst of the path or in the journey, we can't see the path clearly, right? So let's
Mhm.
break it down. Let's write it down. Let's write down what we're seeing, where we've experienced it, what we're making it mean about us,
Huh.
and find those truths. Find what those answers are. Because when we find those answers, then we have something to go in and work on and dig out.
Mhm.
Because I see you still, and I see that you're not well today. You're not doing good. I'm going to be honest with you. Sometimes people lie to us, right? And they say, "Oh, you're doing so good. You look so great. You're getting there. And they're encouraging us, and they're doing it for a good purpose, right? And they're trying to be encouragement. And sometimes they do see what we don't see, and they do see we're doing good, because they don't want to look at the full truth of what we're experiencing, right? So
Mhm.
but today I'm going to tell you that I see you, and I see that you're struggling. I acknowledge your struggle, and I acknowledge you for being brave enough to speak about it today, for bringing it out. Even if you don't know what's going on and you don't know how to fix it and you don't know how to help yourself, talking about it, expressing it, um, getting that fear out into the open, out of your mind, out of your body, shifting that energy from inside here, all those lies, and getting them out of you, right? That is so important, and it's all part of the journey of healing. We have to acknowledge that there's something going on inside of us and be willing to find what it is before we can heal it. So I really want to acknowledge you for bringing all this to the table today, even though you don't understand it. You're getting it out and you're putting it there so we can find where you're missing, what you're not understanding. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I see that you're hurting inside yourself. And I see that you're hurting yourself with these beliefs that you're holding on to the lies that you're not going to get better, that you don't know what's going on, that you can't do this, that you can't make it. I see those lies as what's hurting you the most. And those are what I confront each and every day within myself when they come up. And how I do that is just like I told you, I call them a liar. When I start to feel worthless and no good, I call those thoughts a liar. You're a liar. I am worth everything and I am good. I do have a purpose and I am a chosen child of God. I am a perfect child of God, right? And reinforcing those, calling those a lie, and then reinforcing them with the truth builds up my protective shield, right? Because the more I call out the lies and the more truth I speak to myself, the more power I have within to believe that to be my truth.
Mm-hmm.
So let's do some positives, some positives about Jill, right? And when those negatives come up, call them a lie and tell them the truth about who Jill is. Because you know the truth of Jill. And I know you do. And I know the truth of me, and Annette knows the truth of her. And Antonio, I don't know you and I have never met you. And welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us. And Antonio knows the truth about them too, because it's all buried deep down inside of us. We were born, we were created with our truth, right? And it's just been programmed out of us. It's been taught out of us. And some of the teaching we've taught ourselves by telling ourselves repeatedly these lies. So now we have to reteach ourselves and we have to repeat our truth, right? Instead of repeating these lies. Don't give those lies a place to stand in your space. So sometimes we have to recognize them and see them, right? But we don't have to keep them. We can say, hey, I see you and I know you're a lie. And so you can go on, just go on. I don't need you. That lie does not serve me. You're not serving me. And I don't need you. And I release you back into the universe where you came from, back to where I send you back to where you came from. And this is my truth. My truth is I'm a powerful creator of the Most High God, and I am worthy. I am healing, and I am finding my pathway, whether it looks like it or not, or whether I feel it or not in this moment. I am. Those are two so powerful words, that I am. And you're using them a lot in the negative right now. I am never going to find my way out of this. I am stuck. I am lost. I am abandoned. So let's shift all those negative I ams to your positive truths. I am loved. I am seen. I am enough. I am worthy. I am healing. I am finding my way. use those positives to create this shift because you have it within you. It's all within you. Everything you need right now to answer every question you have is within you. You hold the answer.
For sure.
Right. And I'm here. I'm here for you anytime, Jill. Anytime you
Thank you.
can't find that truth, anytime you can't remember that you're not stuck and that you're going to be this way forever, I'm here for you. And I want you to remember that. And I want you to remember what my words just spoke to you. When you hear that, I'm never going to make it. Hear my voice tell you that's a lie, Jill. You are making it. Borrow my strength, borrow my faith in you, and tell yourself the truth.
Thank you.
Because that is, for me, I have found that is my repeating pattern, is beating the shit out of myself and telling myself what I am not instead of what I am, right? Because all of my am nots are mostly lies. Now, there are a few things I am not, like I am not an asshole. I can be, but I'm not, right? I tell myself that all the time. I'm an asshole. You're an asshole, you know? No wonder people don't hang out with you. You're just an asshole. But really, I'm not an, oh, I just threw my pen. I'm really not an asshole, right? But I am pretty blunt about how I say things. And sometimes I can be an asshole. It just depends on, what's going on around me at the moment, what I'm feeling within myself. And, but I tell myself these things and I tell myself, oh, you're not good enough for that. You're not going to make that. You're not going to get that. You can't do that. And see, I put all these limitations and all these false beliefs and all these negatives within my being when I do that. And that's a pattern that I'm recognizing. And it's something that I've recognized within you here today, Jill. All the negative, all the I'm nots that you experience, that you feel within yourself. And they're true feelings. I'm not asking you to not see them and feel them because they're the truth that you feel about yourself. But what I'm asking you to do is to shift what you're saying to yourself to the real truth of who you are, right? Not the truth of what you feel, because sometimes our feelings aren't who we are. Our feelings aren't what's going on. They're not what's really, what's really there. It's not the feelings are the emotion, they're the energy in motion. And sometimes that energy in motion can be a lie we're telling ourselves, that we're just riding out like a big ass wave on a surfboard, thinking we're up there doing the cowabunga or whatever, riding the tube, dude. And really, we're riding the tube of lies that we're telling ourselves. We're on the wrong tube. Right? And really, we're crashing and burning and scraping the shit out of ourselves on the rocks under the water because we're riding that tube of the lie of of the feeling that we're experiencing instead of the truth of who we are. Wow, it's 8 o'clock already, you guys. Wow, we've been here an hour already. I love being
Yeah.
with you guys so much. Time just flies so much. So, Annette, would you like to share anything? Are you picking up on anything? You're pretty good with filling in, and you've had a lot of experience like me in this same space that Jill's feeling. And do you have anything that you're feeling from your heart that you'd like to share this evening?
Thank you, Pastor Brenda. A lot of the things you say are so beautiful, and the art of what you do just resonates with me, and what Jill's going through. I could feel where she's at. We could feel that between us, but it's doing the work, even though it is faking it. I have to say that to a certain point, you're going to have to fake through it, and that hurts. Make it action. Our Pastor Brenda told you the homework. That light comes up, journal. When that light comes up, what are you telling yourself? What are you using it for? And make it a habit. But doing that, confronting those things, it's doing the work, even though you don't feel like it, Jill. I know you don't. You don't want to do it. This is there's a shift happening. I felt the shift happening. Something light up. It's all it takes, a little spark. To jumpstart the heart. Like I heard you say something about God. You felt even abandoned by God. We've been there. But you can come out. That's a lie. You can heal. You can heal. I just recommend you do the homework. I know fake it till you make it. I believe, but you got to take action. As hard as it is, you got to take that action. Do that homework, Pastor Brenda told you. I do it every day. I have my 2-year morning mojo. I do my I am beautiful affirmations. I do my grateful affirmations. I do little stretches, little journal every day, and sometimes midday. And little by little, you start seeing your truth and stop being a liar to you. And that's hard to hear that alone. You're lying to yourself because you're not doing it consciously. You're not doing it consciously. It's subconsciously. And some things you do, but it's a thing you've been doing for years to work out of it. So,
Yeah. I love that, Annette. And it's a pattern that we repeat, that beating ourselves up, right? And we have to be willing to create that shift. We have to be willing to confront the lies that we tell ourselves with the truth that we know. And a lot of times it doesn't feel like it's doing any good, right? And we can believe that. We can choose to believe it's not doing any good, and we can set in that belief for as long as we choose to set in it. And in the very next moment, we can choose to create a shift and rescue ourselves. Because truly, we are the only ones that can rescue us. We have to be willing to create our own shift. And I know that you're willing to do that, Jill, or you wouldn't be here sharing today. You would have kept all this bottled up inside of you and you would have just let it ride. And I'm so proud of you for not. I'm so proud of you for not holding it in today. I'm so proud of you for sharing because that shows that you're willing to create this shift and you want to create the shift. So tell yourself that you can. I can create this shift. I can. I am creating this shift. Even though I don't feel it, I am still creating it. Reinforce that to yourself every day. I am creating it. I am creating this shift because you're creating what you're feeling stuck. You're creating the abandoned feeling and you're using it for a purpose. You're using it to say, I'm going to be this way forever. So why keep trying? I give the fuck up. I'm tired. I'm done. And I give up. I quit. But is that really what you want? Do you really want to quit? Do you really want to give up? I know you're really tired, but do you really want to quit? And do you really want to give up? Because that's what you're telling yourself when you say, I'm never going to find my way out of this. I can't create a shift. I'm lost. You're creating the space that you're feeling by speaking those words. You're creating that belief. So the shift to uncreate it is to tell yourself the truth, whether you feel it or not, to be true. I used to hate that saying, fake it until you make it, but sometimes that fake it till you make it actually works because it's actually the repetition that is what begins to take effect, what begins to work, right? Even if you don't believe it, tell yourself, I am beautiful every day. I am perfect every day. I am creating a shift. I am healing, right? And that, whether you believe it or not, that you're telling yourself that. And that repetition is what creates your pattern of healing, right? That repetitive telling yourself the truth because we've repeatedly told ourselves a lie for so long that we have to reverse it by doing the same thing with our truth. We have to repeatedly tell ourselves that truth in order for it to sink into our hearts, in order for us to believe it's true. Does that make sense to you? Are you feeling that? Are you
Yes.
awesome? Amazing. Antonio, I don't know if you're comfortable with coming off camera and just letting us see you or introducing yourself or telling us a little about yourself. I would love to meet you or see you and just share an experience with you or just an introduction. If you feel comfortable, if you don't feel comfortable, that's perfectly fine with me. And I love you just the same, no matter what. And I still appreciate you for being here. I just love sharing and seeing and being with people. So if you're comfortable, we'd love to hear from you. And if you're not, that's perfect too. We we don't push or we don't prod, right? We just hold this space open for everybody, and I want you to feel safe and secure to share. So if you're not feeling that at the moment, that's perfect. And um, I still love you, and you still love, and the space is still love, and it'll be open and here each week. And I hope that you continue to join and that you begin to introduce yourself to us and just, yeah, be in this space with us because it's beautiful and we're all beautiful people here and we're all just heart centered and we're all experiencing life and what it's like to have this human side that 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 we get to create, you know. So yeah. All right. Well, you guys were 11 minutes over. And if nobody else has any shares or doesn't need to get anything else off their chest, I'm going to go ahead and close out today and leave you guys with all the goodies we got today and with all the questions that I've asked you today. So, and just be with them and don't get stuck in them, right? Just be with them and see what you can pull out and write it down on paper. And then remember the truth of who you are. Reinforce yourself with your truth.
Thank you so much for all the time you've taken with me this evening, Pastor Brenda. I really appreciate it.
You're so welcome, Jill. I love you so much. So much. You are this strong, beautiful woman, and I know that you see it. I know that you know it. And I know that sometimes we get stuck in all the shit that goes on around us and in our head. But you're gonna make it, babe. We all
Thank you.
see you healed and happy and smiling already. And we're going to stand in that truth. And we're going to stand right here next to you. You're not abandoned and you're not alone.
Thank you.
I love you guys so much. And I'll see you next Monday.
All right. Thank you. Love you.
Love you too.
Love you, Antonio. Love you too.
Love you, Annette.